let the dogs out?
Who?
Who let the dogs out?
Who?
Oh, wait, Josh, do a slow mo.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Josh
Hi.
Elliott.
I'm Molly Irwin.
I'm Alex Simpson.
And today we are reviewing
the
Isle of Dogs.
I love dogs.
I love dogs. It's set in the future of Japan. There is a government that has outlawed dogs, and there's kind of an anti-dog movement going on. The leader has voted to ban all of the dogs to this isle, or this little island called Trash Island, which is actually like a real place, but not in Japan. Like, there's an actual mass of plastic floating in the sea called Trash Island. Sticking to true Wes Anderson type, he has talking animals, of course, and it's in this stop motion that we've all seen in Fantastic Mr. Fox. This boy goes looking for his dog, this boy named Atari. Along the way, he meets our main characters, which are this pack of dogs.
I don't think this movie is fantastic, but I think it's solid Wes Anderson quirkiness.
It's not Fantastic Mr.
Fox.
I have seen all of Wes Anderson except for Bottle Rocket and the Darjeeling Unlimited. I would put this below Grand Budapest Hotel. I didn't like it as much as Fantastic Mr. Fox or Moonrise Kingdom. I'd put it above Life Aquatic.
So Alex, what did you think of it since you have never seen a Wes Anderson movie?
I thought it was really good. I was not expecting the art style because I am a very artsy person. It's like what I want to do with my life. I liked the way they made the shots. Most of the dialogue is portrayed with either a face in full front or full profile. Like, there's no like 3/4, there's no back. It's just either the front of their face or just the profile of their face. And I really like the consistency of that, and then the way that they made the rest of the habitat kind of flow together.
I feel like the visual style of the movie like fully embraces the unrealism of the plot.
Another thing I really liked about it is that there was only one human character that spoke English. All the rest of the characters spoke in Japanese, and the subtitles weren't entirely accurate.
With Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson can animate animals really well. Which is like their fur and how it moves.
He's the king of making a little awkward face for all of his characters. They all go. Whenever they get awkward, they like bare their teeth, and that's such an animal instinct. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that I've noticed that's very stylistic to how he portrays animals feeling awkward human emotions. He does the dialogue so well. And Fantastic Mr. Fox is based off of an actual Roald Dahl book.
But this isn't.
This is his own creation, I believe.
It is so good at the world building.
It's like when you're a child and you go to a museum and you see the little diorama of the train moving through, and you're like, oh, little people live in those little houses. Okay, let's talk about our problems with it. Should we move into spoilers?
Sure.
Oh,
Spoilers, yeah.
Okay. My main problem with it was that there's the group of rabid dogs that live on Trash Island that kind of take up Atari.
Chief,
Duke,
Boss. We can't remember
yeah,
this. Is that your
like,
problem?
Yeah, their storyline was pretty much cut off as soon as they like fell out of the
incinerator.
Yeah, which is like fine because I guess they're not the main focus, but the way that they established them in the beginning, that was just a little bit of a problem for me, because at the end everything's resolved and you see them in their old places and stuff, but you're kind of like, what happened to their storylines?
Another thing that kind of didn't really confuse me, but I didn't think it was that necessary, was that whole bit with like Spot and like all of the experimented animals. Like, they all just had like a weird role.
There's a lot going on, and it's all good material,
yeah.
but there's just too much good material.
Yeah, I agree. It kind of added to his story of why he was leaving Atari and why he was going to give Atari over to Chief. I think it resolved itself very well, but once you saw the twist, you knew where things were going to go.
I do want to say, this is kind of random, but my literal favorite character this entire movie was the teeny tiny little bulldog
that told the future. Oracle.
But the only reason why I knew the future is because it could
read the TV. Yeah. It's going to be partly cloudy for anyone who is interested. Randomly, Yoko Ono was in this. Her actual character was named
Yoko Ono.
which was so funny. My favorite thing about this movie was the score, which is another thing with Fantastic Mr. Fox. They use those children choirs that are all creepy and like weird.
They used a lot of drums, like
this one was drums,
traditional Japanese drums.
Similarly to Grand Budapest Hotel, where the music is kind of like a character in itself.
Should we move on to final verdict?
It is exactly what you would expect from a Wes Anderson movie. It is quirky, it's cute, it's fun, it's weird. There is a lot going on, but it's all good stuff that's going on. Chief is one of the best characters of 2018 so far. Yeah. And I think his relationship with Atari is just fascinating to watch. It's just such a great love letter to dogs. There's a bunch of like political messages going on, but my favorite message is just love and appreciate your dog because they love you. And I really like this movie. I'll give it an 8.
I really had like high hopes going into this movie because I love everything that Wes does. I wasn't by any means disappointed. I think that I may have had too high of expectations and I'm not really sure what wasn't met. For some reason, I kind of thought of it separately from Wes Anderson's films. And then when I started stacking them together, it got a little bit lower on my list. I did really like this movie just as itself. I do want to go and watch some analysis, I think, on some of the major themes that were in this movie because I really think I'm maybe glazing over some of the subtle political messages, as you were saying. I will give this movie an 8 as well.
This is the first Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen, and I thought it was really, really good. I really like the art style because that's really kind of what gets me jazzed about animated movies. I like the music and all of the characters in the storyline is great. Before I go into my final verdict, we're going to go into the Alex cry meter because we forgot to do that.
Yeah.
It was a 0.5. I did cry just a little bit when we thought that for some reason the Alex cry meter has been off lately. I just haven't been crying to movies.
I feel like we've broken you. You've stopped crying as much, you've gotten harsher.
Well, okay, so it's a 0.5 on the Alex cry meter and I give this movie an 8.5.
So that is an 8.2 out of 10
Nice.
for Isle of Dogs.
Awesome. Warning, if you go see this movie or you watch this movie at home, you will be saddened for 2 days or 3 days because you will want your dog to talk to you so badly and you won't. I came home and I just sat with Olivia and I said, please.
So yeah, what did you think of Isle of Dogs? Comment below if you love dogs.
How many paws would you get it?
Peace. Bye.
If you liked Isle of Dogs, let us know. If you want to watch more, click here to watch our last video and click here to subscribe.